Hi there, in this tutorial we will learn how to add motion blur in an image. So let's take a look. So at first we have to open our exercise file, and here is the file menu, here is the open option. Inside the blur and filters folder you will get this cherry unsplash image. You just have to select it, then you have to click open. Okay, we can take a look. A nice image of horse, and we will add motion blur filter in this image. But before that we have to duplicate this layer. So let me duplicate this layer from here. You just have to right click on this layer, then you will get duplicate layer option. Okay, let me write layer mask and let me click OK. And I want to rename the layer name for background layer, and you just have to double click on here, and I want to write motion blur. Okay, motion blur, let me click OK. So at first we have to select the layer mask. So here is the layer mask, and we have to use the quick selection tool, and we will make a selection in this horse. So here is the quick selection tool, and please make sure you are using add selection tool from here. And I want to increase the brush size. So here is the brush size, and let's increase for 140 pixel. Okay. Okay, we got some extra selection and we have to remove it, and therefore we have to use this subtract tool. Okay, cool. So we got a perfect selection, and right now we have to add a layer mask. So here is the layer mask option. So let's add a layer mask, and you can take a look. We got a layer mask in here. Right now we have to select this motion blur layer, and after selecting the motion blur layer we have to click on filter menu, and from there we will go for convert for smart filters option. So let me click on this convert for smart filters option. You just have to click OK. And you can take a look. We got this motion blur layer. It's converted into smart filter. Okay, right now we will apply the motion blur filter in this motion blur layer. So please make sure this motion blur layer is selected, and then we will go for filter menu, and from there we will go for blur option, and from the blur option we will go for motion blur option. So let me click on this motion blur option. Okay, we can take a look. This is the pop-up for motion blur, and we have to increase the distance pixels. So let's increase the distance pixels, and you can take a look. We got a nice motion blur in this image, and I want to go for 190 pixel. Okay, so let me click OK. Okay, you can take a look. We got a nice motion blur in this image, and this is how you will add motion blur in an image in Adobe Photoshop. So see you in next lesson.